no one 10 minutes ago, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was a beautiful summer's evening, the sun was shining, there was no wind blowing. Now the wind is pouring through. You can't see a thing, there's fog everywhere, and it's freezing cold. It's like Ireland. And what I'm trying to do is say to myself, don't start counting down the hours, don't get into the counting down the hours. Try and, you know, lose yourself a bit in this piece of it. You know, get off the clock. Try and say that, you know, it's going to be 5 sunsets. In 5 or 6 sunsets, you're going to arrive in Vladivostok. And try and get into that kind of mode of thinking maybe, but I don't think it's going to work. You know, I'm too indoctrinated in the Western way of doing things, which is, you know, when am I going to be there again? What time? And then what am I doing? And where am I going then? And I kind of keep constantly punching yourself against the schedule, but it's so different. In many ways, I'm extremely happy that I didn't fly, because if I flew there, I'd just be stuck in Vladivostok in a hotel for 4 days, you know, walking around the town. Vladivostok is probably no better than any other city you've ever been to. You'll never get the chance to do something like this again, which is why I'm on the boat. That's what I'm saying on the first day. Whether or not I'm saying that on the 5th day now, who knows. We've been on the boat about 2 days. Is that fog has just moved in the whole way around the boat. So, although you're moving at like 15 knots or whatever it is, you can't see more than 20 feet off the bow, you know, off the port side or the starboard side. This is what you're supposed to say, but it's a bit shit. But it's good to get out and, you know, get some air and all that sort of stuff. But it's just kind of, you come out, look, see about 20 feet of water, and it's the same view the whole way around the boat, so it's not exactly exciting.
As it turned out, the first mate of the ship, Igor, actually spoke quite a bit of English, which was fantastic for me because it gave me someone to go and talk to. Now, given I hadn't talked to anybody in, you know, literally, I suppose it must have been almost a month. The last time I had talked to anybody for any length of time would have been Bolat in Yakutsk. Obviously, I talked to a couple of people on the phone, but face to face, Bolat was the last person who spoke English. And I'm trying to think of the last time before that. It was probably Moscow with Bill and Oksana. So I was downloading to Igor big time. So I'm sure by the time this boat trip was over, he was really, really glad to see the back of me. Look, this is how you pass time in a boat. Playing solitaire and eating Igor's sweets. Igor got 3. He won 3 games last night. I won 2 the night before. Tell you, savage evening, right? You've got the sun setting on one side, right? And you got the moon rising on the other side. You won't be able to see it in that light now, but... And you're out here, beautiful, kind of mill pondy type ocean sea. You know, heading to Vladivostok from Magadan. I don't think, as long as I live, I won't forget it. I've been on boats where there was sunsets before, so that's not what's really freaking me out. It's the fact that I'm in the North Pacific Ocean. You know what I mean? Moon, sunset, beautiful water, beautiful temperature. It's deadly. I highly recommend it. It's about midnight. You can see there's a full moon behind me there. Because it's just this sliver of light here behind me,
and you know, all the ocean is passing through that sliver of light for your, you know, from your viewing angle. It feels like you're moving really fast, you know. But the other thing is that, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's night time and you're out in the middle of nowhere. I keep on thinking that tentacles are going to come out of the ocean and grab you and pull you in, or, you know, a great white shark or a killer whale is just going to beat you up the side and just pull you into the water, you know. And everybody tomorrow morning would say, "Hey, where's the Irish guy gone?" He went ashore already, you know, and I'll never be fucking heard from again because some beast of the deep will be fucking feasting on my carcass. But it's unbelievably atmospheric out here, you know, this late at night, underneath a full moon, with all the sea passing by, and you're really close to the sea on this deck, you know. It's exhilarating. I love it. I'm not trying to be melodramatic here, but it is, I think, really scary out here. It's just because you don't know what's in there. I know there's nothing there. We're looking out at the water all fucking day, but in every sea monster movie or shark movie or anything where there's something in the deep coming out to get you, it always comes out and gets you at night time. Except in Jaws 1, you know, where Roy Schneider's banging on the fucking, on the pipe. Come on get me. I fucking dare you to go over to that water and start roaring. Come on out and fucking get me. You know, it's just a fucking tempt fate. Something just comes out, grabs you by the head and fucking pulls you in. We're coming close to the coast with Russia here, actually. We're on our way to Vladivostok, and just over here is the Russian coastline. You can't see it, but it's there. It's about, you know, I suppose 15 miles offshore. But we're going to be coming up to a point in about an hour where you can pick up a mobile phone signal. So it's a big deal for obviously all the crew. You know, they would have been 5 days at sea, wouldn't have talked to anybody, any of their family, then had 1 day where they could talk, and then 5 days. So this is like a kind of a sliver in time where you can contact you know, people at home and stuff like that. But I was just thinking, it's a classic situation. I know, and my phone will connect, but you'd be fucking gutted if you don't get any texts. You know, community just said, fucking hell, I'm 5 days in this fucking thing. No one's even texted me once, you know, just to even check how I am. So it's a two-edged sword, the whole mobile phone. I'm almost 50-50 about just leave the fucking thing at home, you know, because then at least you can fool yourself that, you know, people are down. I wonder how Oisin's getting on. Jesus, he's mad there, all that away on the boat. But in reality, people are getting on with their own lives and they're too fucking busy to be thinking about you off on your holidays, you know. This boat uses, right, wait till you hear it, 10 tons of fuel a day. 10 tons, and it does about 300 miles. Think about it, 10 tons, 300 miles, right? And I was just thinking, the amount of times when I had my first car, you know, we'd head down to the, you know, to the garage and get a fiver. Can you imagine how long a fiver would last in here?
Igor was kind enough to take me down for a tour of the engine room, and there was loads of surprises down there for me. I couldn't believe how dirty and grimy the whole place is. I suppose it's an engine room, that's what maybe you would expect it to look like. And then I started to think that this ship is actually almost 40 years old. Before it was the Pioneer Korsakova, it was actually known as the Black Pearl. And before that it was called the Regan Merchant, and before that it was the Pioneer Uzbekistana. And I think what happens is, as these ships are sold between the companies, they change the name of them. I'm not particularly mechanically minded, and I'm not particularly into machinery or anything like that, but I have friends back in Ireland who, if they went down into that engine room, they'd never come out, because they would just be down there asking questions for 100 years. But it was still an amazing thing to get to see.
The fucking heat down here is savage. That's the propeller, 112 revolutions per minute. Everything down here is full of fucking grease, and the heat is savage. And there's things you can fall into all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen anything like it. It's like being in Das Boat, in the movie Das Boat. See, the lads were painting here, right? I was talking to Igor about it and I was asking him how often do they paint the ship. They never stop painting it. Anytime there's a dry day, the ship is getting painted somewhere. I guess the sea and the sea air and the water, it's all so corrosive that it's just constantly wiping out the paint. You know? So that's what the able seamen do. That's I think they actually call them as able seamen. They paint and maintain the ship. It's constantly just getting the shit kicked out of it by the fog, the wind, seawater, you name it. Look how smooth the water is. It's the light breeze. The sun is trying to get through the clouds. Vladivostok at 4, hopefully. And then Lord knows what after that. Just having a look around at the autopilot and all that sort of stuff. One day Magadan, next day on the bridge on a ship heading for Vladivostok. Igor's looking nervous in case I push the wrong button. We're looking at the map here. Right, obviously men don't need maps, you know, because we just know where we're going the whole time. But just checking it out just for you know, kill some time. This is Peter the Great Bay. Yes. And this line of ships here is the Russian Navy.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Ussuri Bay.
Ussuri Bay. Oh, right. That's all the bay.
This one.
Jesus, there's a lot of ships there. 1, 2, maybe 10 or 12 ships, different sizes.
Yeah. This position.
Right.
Ussuri Bay.
Ussuri Bay.
Ussuri Bay. Vladivostok and Amurski Bay. And all this region
is Peter the Great Bay.
Yeah.
Peter the Great Bay.
Peter the Great Bay.
Actually, I've had no World Cup scars in 6 days. Nothing. And I am so looking forward to just getting into Vladivostok. And the first thing I'm going to buy is a Snickers bar. Just coming into Vladivostok, as you can see, there's loads of ships here. I don't know if they're ahead of us or not. We're going to have to wait until they're all unloaded before we are. That there is one of Vladivostok's docks, and what we're waiting to do is go into it. We've got a pilot on board. The pilot boat comes over and the pilot gets out of it and he drives in, I guess. I'm kind of anxious to just get the next box ticked, you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily in a hurry to get it done, but it's just I want to kind of get that feeling of progress going in my head again. You know, it's still way more than a week before I'm going to be back on the road. Like, I mean, it could be as much as 2 weeks by the time I get the bike back and I'm back on the road. But I'm just anxious to start knocking out these steps. Here's our pilot boat, just coming in, which is cool. It means somebody's going to bring us in and push us somewhere anyway. I've really enjoyed the 5 days in the boat, but I want to get off it now and get on to the next stage, you know. Hopefully that works out as well as this did. There's the dock, Vladivostok. It's cool to be fucking here, you know. Now, my big prayer is that when we're lifting off the bike, the front tyre isn't deflated and I can get some air into it. If it's fully down, maybe it won't pump up. Bike with one what looks like a pumped up front tyre, which is very good. What I'll do as soon as the guys winch it off with this big 50-metre crane here, first thing I'm going to do is pump it up to the hill and hopefully it'll get me up the road to the hotel, you know. Just still waiting to get off the boat. It's 7:30, or no, it's 10 past 8 actually at the moment. So it's just a matter of just getting it winched off. I think I have all the paperwork ready to go, and then somewhere in that jungle find the Hotel Vladivostok. Now obviously you can stay in any hotel you want, but it just so happens that one is very close to the Dongchun ferry office, so it means I can just tip around the corner and buy the ticket. I'd be really sad actually to leave the ship now, you know, because over 5 or 6 days when you only are interacting with the same people the whole time, and albeit most of them don't speak English, you do build up these relationships with people, you know, especially Igor. myself and himself become good friends, and you know, I'll miss him when I'm gone. That's the one thing about travelling is the, you know, it's the constant goodbyes. You know, a lot of people say, you know, the great thing about, you know, travelling is you meet people. Well, for every person you meet, you got to say good luck to them. And the vast majority of people you meet, you'll never see them ever again. And maybe that's the glass is half empty way of looking at it.